One of the things that the hard and fast rule of assignment coverage is to arrive early and stay late. So arriving early means getting there before, anybody else is there. And I do that for a couple of reasons. The number one reason I arrive early is it kind of gets me into a headspace where I'm thinking about the activity. I'm sort of like an actor would get into character. I arrive early so I can kind of scope out the place. I make sure that I have my bearings. I know where I know where to get water, and I know where the bathrooms are and things like that. So arriving early, that's important. But arriving early gives you an opportunity for so many more visual opportunities. So those visual opportunities, it could be maybe a football player taping up his ankle before they take the field. The other players are out practicing on the field, and maybe one football player is, all alone on the bench taping up his ankle. That kind of stuff, those kind of photos can be just as important. And staying late, you can get so many amazing images of the excited football players or football players that have lost the game and they're kind of feeling rejected. Those type photos are just really gold, gold in your portfolio. That's the kind of stuff we look for as professionals as we're evaluating portfolios. That's the kind of stuff that we look for as photographers. There are those before moments or those after moments. And it might mean that you arrive 10 or 15 minutes early, or it might mean that you arrive, an hour early. But I think that's so critical. So the story about West Point is this past year I was covering graduation, and there's a photograph. The cadets walk up from their barracks to get their diploma to the stadium at West Point called Mikey Stadium. And I had always wanted to get this one photo. I had never done it before. So in the 8 years I've provided coverage up there, I had never got this photograph. I'd seen it before, but I'd never gotten it. And it was a photograph of these cadets walking across this bridge from the lake that is behind the stadium. There's this really sort of a Gothic looking, stone bridge that all the cadets walk across. And so I had set my mind to get that shot this time. And I was working with a video guy, just me and a video guy. And I had messaged him that morning and said, hey, look, there's fog rolling into the Hudson River Valley. And I think we should get there early so that we can get a shot of those cadets walking across the bridge. And he said, let's go. So we got there. It was 2 hours earlier than we really need to be there. Right. So we got into position, and off in the distance, this beautiful fog was sort of like out of a movie. Right. And it was very cinematic experience. And just talking about it now kind of gives me a chill up my spine. But these cadets, you could hear their boots, as they were walking on the pavement up to this bridge. You couldn't see them. And once they got into the light, and once they started crossing the bridge, you could see their faces. And it was a very, amazing moment. My video guy, who's a college graduate, just a recent college graduate, he was like, oh my God, this looks like a scene out of a movie. And all of that, we got that shot, and I posted that shot on my social media, and I had people contact me from all these news bureaus telling me, oh my God, that's the best picture ever. And it's really not a hard photo to get because, like I said, it happens every year, but it's very unusual for fog to be in the Hudson River Valley in May, right? So that's what made the photo unusual for the readers, to see these cadets walking across that bridge in the summertime and this fog behind them. And that's what made the photo interesting and worth every bit of that 2 hour arrival early time, right? So yeah, we had to sit around, but we're sitting around after we get that shot, and I'm flipping through my camera. I was so excited. My video guy's flipping through his footage, and he's like showing me these pictures, and it's all really amazing. And it's like that reward is so much better than worrying about, well, I could sleep an extra 2 hours. Why sleep an extra 2 hours when you can have a photo that I know is going to be one of my favorite photos for the rest of my life, right? So sometimes getting there early can be the difference between an ordinary photographer and an extraordinary photographer.